Every human being has dignity and a set of inviolable and universal human rights which should be respected under all circumstances and without discrimination regarding sex, race, origin, creed or social standing. Making the world a better place. People. Building, among other things, a fairer and more solidarity-oriented society. That is the aim, the goal of the Red Cross. That of its staff and volunteers. That of each and every one of those who, while in permanent contact with the real situation around us, here and in other places, daily undertake intense and committed work for others. Thousands of people and stories which define what this humanitarian movement is. A movement governed by recognition and respect for human rights. An institution with a presence in a host of places, with a host of plans and projects, to be 24 hours a day, every day, ever closer to people. It is not good to be lost. It is not good to feel alone in the world. Accommodating a human being is not an order, it is a duty and a pledge to them and to oneself. Welcoming them, seeing to them, to that person and many others. Everyone with real names and surnames who has needs, dreams, and hopes. It is about providing them with a place to sleep, to eat. Answering their call, giving them medical attention and legal advice to help put them on the right track again in life. Because we are talking about getting past the invisible walls that society has put up in their way. We are talking about listening to the reasons stopping them from participating, being included, and leading a full life. We are talking about seeking out a solution for them, accompanying them and understanding their real situations. Opening doors for them to a place where they can look after their children and believe in a better future. Because giving human warmth is a virtue and a merit, the virtue of understanding and the merit of solidarity. It is believing in diversity, equality, and in the right we all have to a dignified life, without anyone being excluded. It means encouraging their personal development. Making them feel that in spite of everything, they are not alone, and that there are reasons to be hopeful that things can change. Knowing in a nutshell that living together means tolerating. And this happens in many other places, with other similar stories, every day, at all times. This happens where they are, because giving means taking an active part, protecting and being supportive. It means keeping people company who are affected by an illness, a disability, and managing to improve the living conditions of all those that need it. It means reaching out one's arms and hands and working for all those who live in a situation of vulnerability and at risk of exclusion. It is about offering warmth to people who seek refuge, persecuted for their political or religious beliefs, defending their freedom and giving them the chance to lead a better life. Conjugating verbs such as to prevent, to help, to rehabilitate, because we all need a little warmth, even if only human, to manage to live. Managing, in short, to get a little smile to show on their demeanor, on their faces. or simply teaching them the language whereby they can communicate. Every year, the Red Cross in Spain comes to the assistance of around 1 million socially vulnerable people. And it does so by taking the steps needed to help offset the causes behind the fact that they are excluded. By orienting them, encouraging their personal development. By giving them places to educate themselves in equality of conditions and reaffirm their identity as individuals. All of this in a quest for a better future. Preventing and mitigating, in all circumstances, human suffering and protecting the life and health of people in the face of any threat. This humanitarian mandate, signed a century and a half ago, is still fully in force today. The end, as before and now, has been the same: to provide assistance and contribute effectively to the security and welfare of all citizens. The way, solidarity. The motive, to safeguard life. A motive that moves them to respond and to react, stir themselves into action, prepare themselves to be ready to go out immediately to wherever this may be needed. By preparing effectively and in coordination with international organizations to send urgent humanitarian aid to any part of the world. Aid employed in helping people and communities who are victims of natural disasters and humanitarian crises or conflicts, and doing this swiftly, with no delay, by putting on the ground all the human resources, technical equipment and materials in under 48 hours to help people in urgent need. Because speed in times of emergency situations is vital, as is will when it comes to taking an active role to offset pain. Because without the will, without this strength that marks them out, solidarity wouldn't be possible. All of them have it. We find it in all of them. Also in those who answer yet another call and go to assist at any time, to any place. Or the resolve we see in those who devote themselves in many ways to protecting them. Because no rights are more important than those of health and life. Such willpower also calls for a world where human beings are not victims of themselves, where a better balance is sought between mankind and nature. Willpower that is convinced that, with just a little bit more solidarity and less selfishness, many lives can be saved. That the living conditions of many millions of human beings can be improved, even if this is only just a little bit. 800 million people in the world are going hungry. 1,200 million live on under $1 a day. 1,000 million people worldwide have no access to drinking water. 100 million children cannot go to school. One child dies every 30 seconds from malaria. There are enough reasons to demand greater solidarity and send aid. Humanitarian aid that, from the outset, will allow them to cover all their basic needs, provide them with all their necessities. By making available to them the necessary medical facilities where they can be attended to and given psychological support. Aid so they can make a quick start on rebuilding their lives by re-establishing sanitation and drinking water supply systems to avoid epidemics and diseases. The emergency response units have the capability in emergency situations to attend to the health of up to 30,000 people and provide water to 15,000 disaster victims. Humanitarian aid that continues over time with the aim of helping out on rebuilding and refitting housing and social infrastructure, as well as in restoring the means of subsistence for those communities affected. Because talk of emergencies and solidarity also entails prevention. and trying to lift the development capacity of populations and social groups suffering the consequences of a humanitarian disaster. Because cooperation means working towards cutting out extreme poverty and hunger, building more schools, reducing infant mortality rates and guaranteeing them medical attention, and always doing this by committing to a full education for all people and communities. In short, it is a question of transforming and bettering the quality of life of people through the power that humanity has at its disposal. This is the humanitarian mandate of the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement that is present worldwide. That which emanates from all of its fundamental principles, that which it undertakes independently and with unity and the collaboration of everyone. Because there are no walls that cannot be overcome in converting tears into smiles, loneliness into company, fears into wishes, and sadness into hope. Because they also have the simple right to running water. Pilar has got her children back. Yusuf is working. Roberto has already begun work on rebuilding his house. And Antonio carries on. The Red Cross is water, warmth, the hope that brings us closer and closer to people.